I'm streaming from my car. But, well, I guess right, or I can do this at home. But when it was like huge, big, gigantic clots, and I was like practically choking off of it. So so bear with that. I mean, like, I offer myself up to be what I would do is, because I typically only go to the hospital once a year. I've gotten it down to once a year. When I first went to the hospital, okay, this is how we found out. I was like 11, and I was playing outside barefoot, and I stepped on a rusty nail. So I had to go get a tetanus shot, and I got the tetanus shot, and they called me back and told me that my results were abnormal and that I needed to go to the hospital right away. So I went to the hospital. I ended up going to Cedars-Sinai in California, Los Angeles, California. Might be Beverly Hills, but I don't know. Like, it's weird. Somewhere, you can look it up. It's well known. And I was there. I don't go back and forth there and some other places and blah 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 to where I go now, where I met my doctor, and he is really patient with me, and he doesn't like require me, like if I'm like, you already know, so I can't have fish. Like, do you all multivitamin? And yes, I will try taking a multivitamin, and then I let him know the results. That didn't work. I wanted to do my studies. Can I design a study? Because we need to come together on it. Like me, I only go once a year. So their studies are based on pretty much a yearly report now. It's a extensive yearly report covering 30 plus years, and it was more before that. I was going to the hospital to get blood transfusions 4 times a year. Oh my gosh, that's too much. And so I did what I had to do to make it so that it was only once a year. And the last one I had before this year was in 2019, because in 2020 it was COVID, and I was like, so I was like, we'll wait for the blood, and we just worked me and the body and the doctor, we just worked it out. So because I was like, it's probably not safe for me to get the vaccine directly. That will probably cause me to bleed out more than necessary. I can't even take a multivitamin. I'm not taking y'all vaccines. Sorry. However, it might be beneficial for me to receive the vaccine via the blood of a vaccinated person. So that happened this year. But prior to that, I was going to just see my doctor to get our treatment that we've worked out. We've worked together to, figure out some things that work as far as what he can do. And I let him, I tell him the things that I'm doing. Like, he knows that I smoke. He's an oncologist. Who would you, some people might want to hide the fact that if they go to their oncologist, their cancer doctor, that they smoke. Be completely honest about my health. Even when I don't want to be honest with myself, it's him. So we're experimenting on me with no results, and I was just tired of that. So when I met my doctor, he basically encouraged me to take it into my own hands. He was like, you need to take care of yourself. And so I listened. It was time for me to begin listening. And so I did. And I let him know that whenever we try something new, if it doesn't work, Okay, that didn't really work, but I'll see how long it can, if I can get through 1 year, then that means that was a successful treatment. That's how I measure it, but I have to do my part too. And on my end, I have to make sure that I stay active, conditioning, and I'm just chilling until I go back into the library. I will tell you, one time I bled so much that my blood count got down, my red blood cells got down to a 1. And that's out of like 10 for women, menstruating women, and 12 for men. That's typically what they would say it would be. So I was down at a 1, right? And I remember they cut my favorite dress. I was like, I'm not dying, I'm just bleeding. So from that point, I continue to still have the same issue, obviously. But then I went to the doctor. No. One summer, I was like, I'm ready to lose weight because I have been eating and I had gained weight. And I was like, well, I want to have a nicer body. So I started swimming. And one, that improved my breathing so much. Like, oh my gosh, I could breathe underwater. But it also conditioned me so that when my blood got low, I could no longer feel the symptoms. Like, I wasn't fatigued because I had been exercising. I wasn't I was like, well, I kind of look pale, and that was the only way that I can tell is because I didn't really have any color, but I didn't feel like I normally felt. And I wasn't as low as when I was at a 1. So I went to my doctor, and I was like, I can get down to a 1. Like, we're gambling with my life here. I mean, whatever. He was like, I don't advise that. How to do that safely. Happen no time soon. So that's what I've been doing, and on my end, trying to, at least my body is already conditioned to maintain for 1 year. When it gets past 1 year and I haven't had any treatment, then I'm concerned. So I have to do what I have to do, but it'd be like roadblocks and stuff. Like, you gotta go over this, you gotta go over that. So what I'm proposing is for my not more than 2 weeks. I don't know how my dissertation class is gonna go. I only have one. It's 6 units. Anyway, I'm proposing to, under my doctor's care, if they will allow us space in the hospital that I go to do some studies. He can test from his end, and I will do what I do on my end, which is I try to use my brain to my heart. When I was in 2018, I was having multiple strokes, and oh my God. But I got up and I went to class every day. And one day, I was walking to my car. I just threw up by the time I got to my car. I don't use like the handicapped spaces or the disabled spaces. I don't use those because I want to make sure that I'm using my abilities and not relying on the provisions that cater to my disabilities. It's okay when I need it, believe me. When I need it, I need it. I needed to I needed it here on campus last semester, and they were very accommodating, so I appreciate that. It didn't affect my grades much. But a marketing instructor, he's like, I can review the art, like do the literature review for the article, but then when it comes to my own personal reflection, I'm like, this stuff is from late 90s, early 2000s. I don't really have a reflection on it. I don't know how to reflect on it quite yet, so we'll see. I'm gonna go back in there and give it another shot, but I'm like, I really cannot think about it. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Like, I'm not inspired to write. Am I supposed to cover? I want to talk about AI marketing and influencer marketing. That's what I want to write about. But I get the opportunity to do so, so I will when it arises. Which means I can't get past this part. Like, it takes up too much time. And then plus, I have been getting out a little more lately. Where did we go? We went to Area 51, but we ended up going to like a club. We got in free because that's what my friend likes to do. She likes to get in free. And I was just like, can we do something else? This is for the kids, my kids' age. I mean, it was for people of all ages, but when I'm not so happy with my child, I want to not be reminded of my child. We not meshing the way I need us to mesh. So, and I will leave it at that. But I went out, and I didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's how that goes. I was just tired. It'd be crazy. Like, blessed. And I have to put together a supply, some more hand sanitizer, tissues, like a little trash bag, just some stuff that, when I'm sitting in my car, in the event that I have a fallout moment, like, worrying about it as much. If I'm at home, I can just, okay, but it's not the and I will do my daily processes, like the shit I do, work on my business, or, to keep my brain active, keep my body active. I don't know what I will do to keep my, the physical heart active, but my spirit active. I go to a Catholic hospital, so I'm sure we can take care of that. But it's like, oh my gosh, can we get it figured out? Or can we figure out how to help somebody else that might be dealing with this? Or how can we advance humanity? Or it could be the opposite. If I don't have blood, what does that make me? Until the next treatment. So my body is conditioned to do that. Ridiculous. But they don't really get heavier if that was probably ridiculous because I had that churro. It was packed with cinnamon. It was good too, but I know I probably should not have eaten it. I am continuing to I don't park my car in the spaces. I'll be wanting to, like, later at night, which I'm getting ready to move my car in a minute as soon as I finish this, or finish this when I move my car closer to the library, because obviously it's not safe to walk around campus. Anyway, I do park my car, and plus I be tired, so I want to be closer to campus. Closer to my car in the evening. So I move it. But Typically, I don't necessarily park as far away as I possibly can within reason. I mean, the parking lot is really not that big, but it is about probably a 16th of a mile, the whole thing, I would say, give or take. Definitely not a quarter of a mile. That would be the whole block. No, the school is just under a mile long in length. But anyway, so I try not to park, you know, within reason to the stairs, and I take the stairs down. If I park on the second level, I take the stairs up as well. But if I park on the third level, which I was today, then I take the elevator up. I could take the stairs up, but my bag is heavy. So that's like an additional weight that I'm carrying when I'm walking. And I walk to the library. You've been on that live with me. You've seen the walk. And then I walk around. Like if I have to do other stuff, I might walk around to the other buildings, etc. But I don't know. Number one, I gotta see. Like, okay, I don't think it's gonna come forward, but it's building up back here. Like if you have sinus issues, you know what I'm talking about. It's building up back here, and I can feel it. And it's like I have to blow my nose, but if I blow my nose, it's gonna bleed way more than I want it to. And it's like I smoked, and not only does the smoking cause vasoconstriction so that my capillaries and vessels and stuff tighten, they become more restricted, because my blood is thin and it's gonna move through a larger space faster, so it helps to shrink the space, shrink wrap, so that it doesn't move as fast. But it also actually really clots fast too, regardless of whether I smoke or not. So it will, but sometimes it won't clot fast. And then, I mean, like, no, well, it will, but it depends on how fast it's moving, what I've done to make it metabolize. So, like, it's like, okay, if I have any of those things that I can't eat, ginger, cinnamon, and vinegar, if I don't poop it out, I'm gonna be bleeding, and it'll bleed out too. But it'll bleed less when I poop it out, obviously, right? But if I don't, then I'm just bleeding it out. So I have to be cognizant of that as well. Like, okay, I need to clear my intestines because they're still absorbing the whatever it was, the metabolizer, into my bloodstream. So gotta be cognizant of that. Have to be just exercise or whatever. That way, when I do lose all of the blood, like, because the blood carries the oxygen. So if you don't get oxygen to your muscles, guess what? Walk when you can. Exercise a little more when you can. Keep my heart rate up, so that when it is like, okay, it doesn't have as much pumped blood, because when the blood is thin and it has the heart, like, if I don't smoke and my vessels are large, my heart has to work harder and pump faster in order for it to push the blood throughout my body, because it has that big old space to get through. So we shrink it so it doesn't have to cover as much ground, so to speak, I guess. But it does, my heart won't, it doesn't have to work as fast or as hard. And then plus I have that secondary rhythm to like, okay, you just stopped. Don't you have memory of rhythm? What's going on here? It's reminded. It's memory of the rhythm. So that. And then I do other things, like I use baking soda. And again, I know I've said this, but please consult your doctor. Don't listen to my advice. This is specialized, specific information pertaining to me and myself only. Baking soda, salt in general, is a curing agent. It goes away. It's like a placebo. If I have a nosebleed, I can counteract, do my own research, because which is what I like about my doctor, because he provides me with information. Really, I mean, it just depends. He'd be like, call me if you need me. Which I did. I don't know. I didn't know they were. Well, I guess I did. Maybe I don't think things through all the way. Because they emergency room. They call us, but at midnight. Like, and he called me on my phone, and I was like, "Give me iron." He was like, "No." But yeah, basic challenges in the team. And there's another doc gave me some advice as in a moment. He was like, "You're gonna die," and why would you come in here and tell me that? Shut up, I'm not gonna die, right? I was hot. But me, I outwardly, I try to maintain my and I could do that outwardly really well, but my heart rate was shooting up. So I didn't realize, I was like, oh, that was kind of like a stress test. And so from that point, I'm more aware of the pace of my heart. Not like I hadn't been. Like when I exercise, obviously, that's something that you pay attention to. You focus on your breathing. But I had to really pay attention to the fact that but you know, it is what it is. So how long have we been recording for? No one came to say hello, and that's a good snack. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go eat some snacks and then try to get back to snacks. Thinking about what I want to say about antiquated marketing. The roots of marketing. My stuff. I'm on wafers. I tried some new wafers. I don't know how I record, but I would like it if you would subscribe. That would be nice. Conversations are nice too. I found out that I can see the comments. So wonderful. I hope to see you the next time. I will try to just make sure that since I'm going live and I know that I have to take a break, I can just come on here when I take my break. Usually that's around 2 or 3 p.m. Like if I get to the library around 11, I definitely